You ever ask an AI a question, and it gives you this answer that sounds, well, it sounds perfectly correct, but it turns out to be completely made up? If you've had that happen, then you've run headfirst into one of the biggest, most fascinating challenges in modern AI, what we call the hallucination problem. So let's really explore what that means.
I mean, let's be honest, in just the last few years, we've seen this incredible leap forward. Thanks to some really powerful tech like transformer architectures, these AI systems can now draft your emails, summarize long articles, and even whip up poetry that is just stunningly fluent. A lot of the time, the stuff they produce is so good you literally can't tell it wasn't written by a person. And this progress, it's exactly what makes AI so incredibly useful.
But, and this is a big but, right underneath that polished, perfect-sounding surface, there's a fundamental flaw. These incredibly articulate systems have this weird tendency to just invent facts, create details out of thin air, and state complete fictions with this unshakable confidence. And look, this isn't just some minor bug, it's a core challenge for the whole field.
So, to really get a handle on what's going on, we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about this recent language revolution. Then, we'll get into the flaw at the heart of the system. After that, we'll look at where these hallucinations tend to pop up. And finally, we'll see how researchers are trying to get this problem under control.
All right, first up, let's just take a moment to appreciate how we even got here. The progress in what the experts call natural language generation, or NLG for short, has been, and I'm not exaggerating, absolutely revolutionary. This is basically the science of teaching computers to write like us.
And this isn't just me saying it, you know. A really important research paper on this whole topic confirms that the progress we're seeing is an exponential improvement. It's this insane, rapid advancement that's made these tools so powerful. But it's also what's brought this whole hallucination issue into such sharp focus.
So we've got this incredible power, right? But it comes with this really critical flaw. To get it, we need to be super clear about what we actually mean when we say an AI hallucinates.
Okay, so here's the official academic definition. Now pay attention to a couple of key phrases here. Unintended text and fails to meet user expectations. The AI isn't trying to trick you or lie. It's just that the output it's creating isn't what you need because it's become untethered from reality. Think of it as a system failure, not some kind of malicious act.
So here's the bottom line. The AI is, at its core, a highly advanced pattern matching machine. That's it. It's been trained on just astronomical amounts of text from the internet, and its entire goal is just to predict the next most plausible word in a sentence. It has zero concept of truth, none. It only understands plausibility. And that's the key. That's why it can generate this beautifully written, grammatically perfect, and yet completely false information. In a weird way, it's not a bug, it's a feature of how it's designed.
So where does this stuff actually happen? Well, it turns out this isn't some rare, isolated problem. It's a really widespread challenge that pops up across so many of the common AI applications that we're all starting to use every day.
And yeah, it is a really common problem. Take summarization, for example. The AI might add a little detail that wasn't in the original article, like saying a company's profit went up by 20% when the article actually said 15%. Or in a chatbot, it might just invent a historical event that never happened. And in large language models, the engines behind tools like ChatGPT, hallucinations are an inherent risk every single time you ask it a question. Now, I know this all sounds pretty bad, but the good news is the scientific community is all over this. This is a super active and urgent area of research, and there's a pretty clear game plan for moving forward. And we know this because there's just so much scientific work being done. We're talking dozens of research papers, hundreds of brilliant researchers, all focused on this one problem. They're systematically chipping away at it, first trying to understand and then trying to control these AI-generated fictions. The approach they're taking is really methodical. Step one, you have to build tools that can even detect and measure when an AI is hallucinating. I mean, you can't fix a problem if you can't reliably spot it, right? So once they can measure it, then they can move on to mitigation. Now, notice I said mitigation, not elimination, and that is a huge distinction. It turns out the very same things that allow an AI to be creative and make interesting connections are what cause hallucinations. So the goal is to reduce them, to control them, not to just get rid of them entirely, because that might actually break the AI's most useful and impressive abilities. And that really leaves us with the ultimate question. The very nature of how these incredibly powerful models are built means they will probably always have the capacity to hallucinate. So as we start weaving them deeper and deeper into our lives, for everything from homework help to serious medical advice. The real challenge for us, for humans, becomes about verification, about critical thinking, and about learning to use these amazing tools with a very healthy dose of skepticism.